So watching the news and, paying attention to all of these little details and things that the elite plan to do, one of the things that I was really worried about this year was um, the push to have Ukraine join NATO. Now, obviously, this is very dangerous because if Ukraine joins NATO, then that immediately puts the United States and the rest of NATO into a direct official war with Russia, which can escalate into nuclear conflict. We're already at war with Russia unofficially through Ukraine. And, obviously this is not good. And this was planned for the month of September. So, this would be the October surprise. If this got, going really bad, it's a major crisis. And as we all know, the elite, the politicians profit off of crises. So whatever they want to do, they can get done in a crisis. So we don't need big crises because that's bad, good for them, bad for us. Now, Ukraine, its territory is not intact. I believe, I remember correctly, one of the rules of a country joining NATO is that their country has to be intact. Like they can't have border disputes or breakaway regions or anything like that. That, I believe, is the reason why Georgia has not been able to join NATO, because you got South Ossetia, for example. And, that's, debatably its own little country. In Ukraine, you have the Donbass area and you got Crimea, which is disputed. So I believe on those grounds alone, Ukraine could not join NATO. Of course, that rule is obvious because if you have a country that has border disputes, then they would then use NATO power to settle that. That would just automatically drag NATO into a war, a pre-existing war. So, and that's also, by the way, why Moldova hasn't joined NATO, because you have Transnistria, which means that, its sovereign claims are not intact as well. But so anyway, the report goes that, and I'll put the link in the description below, that that Ukraine, according to the State Department, is too corrupt. Well, we all knew that. Moldova and Ukraine are jockeying to be the most corrupt country in Europe. Ukraine is absolutely corrupt, especially with all the things that are going on right now. And Zelensky basically is a dictator in that country. It's more oppressive than any other country of Europe, and far more oppressive than Russia is. So, obviously we don't need Ukraine to join NATO. Well, the State Department, there's people in the State Department that have rejected Ukraine being NATO, or at least as of right now, based on those reasons. So that's good for right now. That doesn't mean that there still isn't a push for Ukraine to join NATO. The elites need a big crisis because politically they are losing, which means that they have to change the game. So be aware of that.